Wholeness and balance vibrations. Sorry about that. We're just having trouble with Block Talk Radio just to enter. So thank you for joining Esoteric Radio's The Activated Body. And it's a show about the body, mind, and spirit. And today's show, we will be focusing on methods on activating the spirit and how this originates in languages. And what kind of daily wholeness and balance vibrations. Sorry about that. We're just having trouble with Block Talk Radio just to enter. So thank you for joining Esoteric Radio's The Activated Body. And it's a show about the body, mind, and spirit. And today's show, we will be focusing on methods on activating the spirit and how this originates in languages. And what kind of wholeness and balance vibrations. Sorry about that. We're just having trouble with Block Talk Radio just to enter. So thank you for joining Esoteric Radio's The Activated Body. And it's a show about the body, mind, and spirit. And today's show, we will be focusing on methods on activating the spirit and how this originates in languages. And what kind of wholeness and balance vibrations. Wholeness and balance vibrations. I'm really sorry about that. We're just having trouble with Skype and Block Talk Radio connecting. So just to welcome you back. Basically, we'll be talking about activating the spirit. It always happens like this. There's always some interference going on when we're just about to start a show. This is ridiculous. Welcome you back. Basically, we'll be talking about. I'm just getting feedback, and I'm just muting my computer right now. And basically, I'm just going to continue and see how this works out. So if you want to get more information to be in the know, you can log on to the Resistance website. This is www.resistance2010.com. On there, you'll find the developer's free book, The Code to the Matrix, by James Evan Bomar, also known as Sevan. I consider this to be the comprehensive book on ciphering languages and getting visual proof on how our powers are relinquished and hidden from our view. In this book, I also highly recommend to read Timeless Secrets of Health and Rejuvenation by Andreas Moritz. It's a book about getting back into balance and using many methods of detox, herbs, and, of course, changing your diet. On there as well, the author explains body types using ancient Ayurvedic body systems known as doshas, further deepen a person's connection. So just let me do a quick check to see. I'm going to check with the chat box, Blog Talk Radio chat box, people to see if my voice is okay. I think it should be fine by now. Just a quick background on me. I'm a holistic nutritionist. You're with the host. My name is Kayo Moon. And again, today is May 15th, 2011. And I just wanted to let you know my background. So as a child, I've experienced many spiritual experiences living in Somalia and East Africa. And I grew up with my grandmother, who's a Sufi healer. And just growing up also in the West, this has led me to yearn for the knowledge in esoteric, to study the occult, and, just always wanted to learn about this, and I never let go of that passion, no matter what I was doing in life. And I feel like all of this has been preparing me for this new level of awareness that we're all experiencing on a planetary level. And after joining the Resistance last year, I felt right at home, and I've aligned with many teachers on there. And I feel like I represent the holistic side of the Resistance. I feel like this is a conscious community, and many of you will benefit from just checking it out. So again, that website is resistance2010.com. And also, if you have any questions, I'm on switchboard as well. If you want to call in, the number to call is 379965688. Just press 1 to raise your hand, and I'll get to your question. You can be live on the show with me. You can also post your questions on Blog Talk Radio's chat box. And for the members of the Resistance, you can post your questions on the Resistance chat box. So I'm looking forward to your questions, and I'm also encouraging anyone today, if you have anything to share, that'd be wonderful. And if you can post that as well, I'll add that to the show. If you have anything that you want to share about activation, your own experience. Okay, so to open the topic, I want to open with a quote. If you do not change direction, you may end up where you are heading. And this is a quote by Lao Tzu. And it's really true that if we don't change direction now, currently, if we don't change our direction, we're all going to end up where we're heading. And if it's a positive place, we're going to head there. If it's a negative place, we're going to head there. So this is what the show is about today, is activating the spirit. And collectively, all of us heading to a wonderful future. And it all starts with you, with every individual. This is a responsibility we all need to take. And what I wanted to talk about is, can someone have a worldly life and a spiritual life at the same time? And I feel like having a spiritual life is important. It's really important to have a worldly life, to keep you balanced, to keep you grounded. And one needs to cultivate that. And there are many things that get people distracted from having a spiritual life, and the list can be endless here. But I just want to hone in on the few things and that I feel personally blocks us from having a spiritual life. And one of the things I feel is the avoidance of the emotional body. And just a lot of things that we've experienced in the past as children, how we were raised, being brought up in orthodox, organized religions and things of that nature. And it just sort of depleted us spiritually. So when one wants to get into the system of activation, we kind of approach it, dragging our feet at some point. And I feel that it's something we need to come across. It's a block that we all need to get over. I've had experience with people telling me I'm having problems. I don't feel like I feel stagnant in my meditation. And these are things that we all experience because we feel and we are focusing on a lot of fear in our lives, on external fears. And having a spiritual life will ground us, will balance us as well. Also, what a lot of us do is we get into escapism. We escape through many methods, and we escape either through TV, through the internet, unless you're using the internet for a positive way for research. We also escape through food addictions. We escape through shopping, having unbalanced work, just being really, really workaholic. And another one that we use escape is drugs and alcohol as well. I also want to talk how meditation can be used as a form of escapism. You don't like your reality, so you're just going to check out, and it can also hold you back using meditation in that method. Meditation should bring you into awareness. It should get you out of the mind. It should make you feel centered. It should make you be in the now, not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past, but being in the moment. However, meditation can be used in a negative way sometimes. Also, the emotional body has a way of, being a holistic nutritionist, I really see that food addiction can hold back the spirit via the emotional body. And I also want to talk about the word itself, emotion. In Latin, it's emovere, and it means to move, to go through. And it could also be interpreted as a disturbance, like it's this action that the emotion's creating is disturbing the body. It's getting you out of your tranquility, out of your center. And what this does is that it makes a person sort of be agitated, the emotions, and a person will use food as a way of blocking that. Or other addictions to block these emotions to come to the surface. And it's just a movement. An emotion is a movement. It even has that word, move in emotions in the Latin version, E-M-O-V-E-R-E. So you need to move, have these emotions move through you. And there's so many activities a person can do to get that. You can write it in a journal. You can, let it out through a trusting friend. You can channel these emotions, transmute them, make it creative. You can sing, you can dance, you can exercise, you can do so many things instead of blocking it or running to the nearest fridge to push it back. I also want to talk about herbs. And there's so many various herbs out there in this world, and obviously shamans use herbs to, open portals within our body, within our mind, to get us into different, state of consciousness. And nowadays, just in many societies, herbs are used as a form of entertainment and also as a form of escapism. And herbs like marijuana, There's herbs in my country, my homeland, called Qad, Q-A-T, or Jad, which a lot of the East African men use as a way to just check out. And what this herb does is that it gets you into a higher state of consciousness. There's no likeness to it, but it has been known to be sort of similar to cocaine. And it makes one not be hungry, and you can stay for hours and hours and hours. And originally it used to be used by adepts to get into higher states of consciousness in their meditation, and also been used by Sufis to stay up all night reciting the Quran and just getting into higher states of consciousness in their way. But all of a sudden now it's being used as a form of entertainment. It's become an addiction, and it's debilitating many people in my homeland, and it creates a lot of problems. So I feel that herbs that are in our planet, that we have access to, we need to approach it with a lot of respect, and we can't approach it as a form of entertainment, because once you give your power to the herb will take over you, and that's one thing that's really known in this world that people need to really, be open about. So if you're going to use herbs as a form of deepening your meditation, be really aware. And don't let it control you. What all of it's doing is honing on who you are. It's honing on the power within you. You already have that. It's just moving that layer, and also, the chemicals in your brain, just opening the portals in your mind. And I also want to talk about healing this emotional body to help it to activate the spirit. And there's many methods you can do for healing. And again, look into your food. Is this food healing you? Is it helping you? Is this processed food hurting you? And things of that nature. Also, just take charge of your present reality. And also look into your dreams. What are your dreams telling you? And the spirit is always communicating with us. And I talk about communication with all the three bodies all the time. So the spirit's always communicating with us, and one of the methods of communication is obviously our dreams. So do you have dreams where, I was actually having dreams recently where I feel like I was being kidnapped constantly, and I felt like I was giving my power away in my present reality, so I have to take charge of that. So it's a really great way of checking in on your dreams, journaling, and finding out what's going on. Also be aware of the environment. I also wanted to talk about currently how, in the next 2 days it's going to be a full moon. So there's this expression in the Resistance website where we say moon food, which means that, be aware, be awake on that day when the moon is fully charged. And that really charges our physical bodies, and also triggering the emotional bodies in so many people. So you'll have problems where you'll get into fights and arguments with your loved ones, with your friends and your colleagues. And there's just so many things that starts to happen just from the charging of the moon. So what I would suggest to people is transmute that energy, This is a time for me, like in my physical body, this is the time that I dance the most, is when it's a full moon. I really feel charged up. I can't sit still. I get really active, and just, life starts to feel more exciting. And, if you had plans all month that you've been planning, this is the best time to start activating on them. So use the moon, in a positive way. Don't let it use you. So don't be moon food, right? And I want to talk about language in particular. Language clearly shows the spirit body, how to activate the spirit body. And I want to take the French word respirer, which means to breathe. And there's the word spirit in there. There's the English word inspire, and also inspiration. And this also shows you to be in spirit. In Latin, it's spiro, spirar, spiravi, and spiratus. Again, it's clearly showing breathing and spirit is the same. And I also wanted to see if it was similar in my language. And our language for the word to breathe is naf, N-A-F, or nef, N-E-F. And it also means to be alive. So it was the one great revelation that I found, to be alive, it's to breathe. To activate the spirit is to breathe. It's the breath. And the breath is one of the greatest ways to centering you, to just bringing you back to the present. As soon as you start to feel
really agitated, as soon as you start to feel the emotions are moving through your body, do deep breathing, and that will bring you back. That will really bring you back to the present and help you balance yourself. However, I am aware when one is depressed, when one is agitated, and one going through anxiety, that, it's really hard to sit and meditate, and it's really hard to focus. So, that's when the body's just completely depleted. The body has become completely toxic. And, that's when the herbs come into play. That's when a lot of many things come into play. So what I wanted to recommend to everyone is to just, get on the site. We have these two products that are featured, SEMD and Agar 35. And these are Ayurvedic supplements that are really great for balancing the mood and balancing the emotions. And lately we're going through a period where we're all being highly charged emotionally in the media, everywhere. Like we're being charged, our attention is being called upon, to be in a state of fear and anxiety. And if you stay in that state of fear and anxiety, it's the hardest thing to come back down from that and to meditate. And I feel that SEMD and Agar 35 are like two great supplements one can include in their meditation. And eventually what will start to happen is that after supplementing with these, you naturally stay in that state. You're not going to be needing it as much in the beginning. You might need it to calm you down, but over a period of time, you might even need it that much. Also, in the nutrition world, there's so many things one can do to bring themselves down. And before I just get into that, let me just check out to see if there's any questions and just see how time is. Okay, so there's 20 minutes in the show. 24 minutes to go in the show. So what one can do through food to bring down, to calm yourself down, is oats. I feel like oats is one of the greatest foods you can do. Having steel-cut oats for breakfast in the morning, that will balance your mood. It also has B vitamins and a lot of enzymes and minerals. And it's highly recommended for people that might have, suffer from depression. There's also BALM, B-A-L-M. You can use that. Has a gentle sedative effect. There's an herb, the valerian, which produces sedation, and it calms the central nervous system. It decreases anxiety, and it's really good for blood pressure. There's also celery, juicing celery juice. It's just one of the greatest secrets in the raw food world to use celery to calm yourself down. And one recipe you can do is add tomato, carrot, and lemon juice. And it's, recommended for people who are suffering from exhaustion or nervous depression. And, of course, there's also St. John's wort. Just see if this might interfere with your medication if you take medication. Check into St. John's wort. There's also thyme, which it stimulates the intellectual faculties. And, if you drink a lot of tea or coffee, things that are caffeinated, that creates a lot of insomnia. But thyme will clean that out of your system. And it's recommended for people that have anxiety and insomnia. And another one is primrose, and you can use evening primrose oil to help calm the nervous system. It's also really great for a hormonal balance. The lifestyle changes one can do is eating a whole food diet, getting right amount of fruits and vegetables and protein, and eliminating processed sugars, caffeine, alcohol, recreational drugs, and cigarettes. Just minimize your exposure to chemicals. There's chemicals in our detergents, dryer, body lotions, creams, perfumes, household cleaning products, and even there's chemicals in our food, and you know about that, how they put a lot of pesticides in our food. In dairy, there's radiated, there's chemicals being hidden in them, I'm sure, and that can really off-balance someone, and also decrease and limit your exposure to soy. And if you're going to source soy as your source of protein, try getting more fermented soy like miso and tempeh. Always hydrate your body and getting multivitamins and minerals in your body. Also, get more vitamin B6. And what happens with that is that it's important for the conversion of tryptophan to serotonin. And serotonin is known as the happy hormone. And 80% of this hormone is secreted, and it's located in our gut area. And, I'm always about, cleaning out the gut and making sure the gut flora is in good balance. We need both our good and bad bacteria. I don't see anything as bad, but if you have too much of the bad bacteria, that's going to be affecting a lot of your B vitamins that are produced in that area of the body. And if you also suffer from depression, check to see your folic acid levels and get that boosted through your supplements. Always maintain a healthy body weight, and through exercise, through building strength, and stay active as usual. Like, all about activation. You have to stay active, and cultivate a routine meditation practice and doing deep breathing, journaling. The emotional body will start to heal, and you'll finally start to release the spirit. And doing energy clearing, and there's so many information online about energy clearing, and doing your chakra cleansing. And actually today we're going to be doing a guided meditation in about a few minutes, and it's going to be a really great meditation for getting into your internal force. And it'll be a good meditation as well to clear up your one of your chakras. Have a room in your home that's specifically set for meditation. That the second you walk into this room, you immediately feel tranquil. You immediately want to relax and start meditating. And it'll be great to check into the lighting of that room. If you're going to paint it, make sure it's not chemical paints that might emit fumes, which will bother you later on. And always do regular smudging in your home, just burning sage and things like that to clear the energy of the home. And that's very important. Also, make sure, like, one thing I do is I keep the TV off as well, because I feel that the TV sometimes emits a lot of negative energy, and that stays in the home. And if you're someone who wants to stay charged up and keep yourself amplified, having the TV on, which, there's energy in words, and having all those words coming out, it stays in the atmosphere. So let me just check the time and see if there's any questions being posted. It's 18 minutes right now, and I'm just seeing, give me one moment here. Okay, so I don't see any questions here. I'm just going to check the switchboard to just see if there's any questions being posted by the callers, and we're good there as well. So what I wanted to talk about also was the body's natural rhythm, the circadian rhythm. And there's certain times of the day that we're, there's a rhythm that our body goes throughout the day, and there's a rhythm that we're connected with, on this planet on a universal level. And, just because of this modern life, we forget that there's, when the sun comes up, that's the time we're supposed to wake up. And when the sun goes down, there's a certain time afterwards that we're supposed to go to bed. But because of lighting and technology, our natural rhythm is constantly being affected. And there's a time where it's the best to meditate. And I feel that early in the morning, between 4 to 6 a.m., is one of the best times to meditate. And, make sure your body temperature at that time as well. It's good to check your body temperature, do regular checks with that, and see if you're having any imbalances with your thyroid. And, in meditation, for activating the spirit, there's so many levels a person can get to. However, if you've had a long work day, if you had a day where you've just been out and thinking and using your mind a lot, by the time you get home, it's really hard to have one of those deep like meditations. And I usually feel that from the hours of around, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., it's a great time to meditate as well. But this is the best time to do sound meditation, some form of external meditation that's assisting you to relax. If you're an adept and you've become really good at meditating on demand, then you're good to go with that. But I feel that with beginners, it's really great to just do sound meditation. And one of the best meditations that I like has anything to do with I think with the singing bowls, with anything with a tone, and that just gets the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere starts to balance. Also with digestion, the best time to quit eating, I would say, to just let the body start to relax and get into the mode of sleep would be right around the time the sun goes down. So depending where you are in the world, I know this is like an international, we have a lot of international listeners, around the time the sun's about to go down, stop eating around then. Don't continue having a full meal around the time. Like I would say it's usually 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Have light foods like salads and soups, right? Instead of having a heavy meal with grains and root vegetables, because the body would use up a lot of energy to digest that food. And if you're someone that wants to have a highly charged, lucid dreaming moment that night, it's not going to happen. Your body's just going to be still functioning. And melatonin secretion starts around 11 o'clock, depending where you are in the world. Like it starts around 11 o'clock. So that's around the time you should start preparing for bed. And it's really, highly recommended that you cover your eyes right before you go to sleep. And I feel that using these kind of methods would really help an individual get deeper into their meditation and activation. So let me just see if there's anything else I want to add to this. And I think we're really good with that. So I'm going to check the phone again. Actually, I'm going to be bringing in a caller to just give us an update. So just one moment, okay? Hello, you're online? Hello? Caller 707?
Yes.
I wanted to announce you and surprise everyone. So we have Sevan on the line. He's calling in to give us an update today. And go ahead, Sevan. Wholeness to you.
Wholeness. It's great to be able to tune into the show and join everyone today. My internet's just a little bit shaky, but hopefully I can just transmit what I wanted to talk about very briefly to everyone. I just wanted to let that there will be a show on Sunday, next Sunday. That's going to be awesome. We're going to kind of let our hair down a little bit, for better lack of words, and just get deeper into what is really going on in the reality with the artificial intelligence and exactly how the matrix and the construct is put together resistance style. And everyone knows that means definitely looking a lot deeper into things and just gathering all the knowledge that we've accumulated at this point to determine what is really going to take place and what is happening now. So I wanted to encourage everyone to tune into that program, because we're also going to be talking about light programming and light programming coming from the stars and the constellations, and what is the story that's really taking place in the constellations and how that story lays over our life, and how at times there's individuals who have a supreme advantage over others because they know when to plant and when to reap. And this becomes one of the most important things that we have to realize, because there is a lot of order, despite that they would like to make everything appear as if it's in chaos. As you see, you get your food and you get your nourishment during certain seasons of different types. And these seasons and these energies are based very heavily on the procession of the stars. And so it becomes of advantage for the individual to know exactly where they are in the seasons and in the cycle, so that they know what to do next based on who they are. And so this becomes a great part of that higher knowledge that we are to be equipped with as we go into our galactic journey, which has already started. As I said just the other day, I'm glad the aliens are here, because we were starting to feel alone, meaning that it's good now that people are understanding the expansiveness of the dimension and the planes that exist beyond that, so that now we can actually start having some real fun. And I think that what's been going on for the last 2 years is that fear that begins when you're approaching something new. But for many of us, it's not new anymore. We have a lot of information that tells us what we're experiencing and have been experiencing, etc. And now we want to get deeper into how to morph our reality into the one that's wholly created by us, meaning that a reality in which we can literally project into it what we want and get the right response back in a timely manner. And so we're going to definitely be talking about that on Sunday, just dropping some more of that high knowledge, or raising up some more of that high knowledge, so that everyone can get themselves to the next level. Did want to say really briefly in regards to the salts, because we finally got everything in order and our shipment has finally arrived. Just to understand, I think personally because of the power of the salts and their ability to affect consciousness, there was a semi-delay, or you could call that an attack on us, and not allowing us to get the salts to everyone immediately due to the tornadoes, and then the whole shipment of salts being held up and then sent back to the manufacturer, and then finally turned around and sent to us after a great deal of confusion. So I just wanted to let everyone know that has purchased those items, that they are on their way to you now. We have secured the shipment. And just to let everyone know, we are going to also be doing, there's been a big request for a 101 into doing now, but it's basically we're going to be going over on this Activated Body show in particular, because remember the other Sunday is really just for adepts and getting real-time information about how we're progressing on discovering what's happening in this reality and beyond. These shows in particular that Moon is doing, we want to be based on the activation of the body and those procedures. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to start with a 101, and we're going to have that show in itself just about where you should begin and nothing else, and talking about nothing else. That way a person doesn't get confused. So this becomes the perfect time to invite anyone that you know has just began on the path or needs to, just only wants to deal with the activation side of it, but doesn't want to really get really deep into it from this level. You have not done the preliminary portions, which are the cleansing of the mind, the preliminary cleansing of the mind, body, and soul. And so I definitely wanted to, I think there's another meditation that's going to take place in this show, so I don't know exactly how much time I have here.
Yeah, that's starting right now. It's going to take about 8 minutes, so we have about 9 minutes in the show. So you have a minute to go if you want to keep saying something, if you want to add anything more.
Okay, great. 1 minute is good enough for me. I just want to let everyone know personally, like realistically, what I've experienced with the last, of course there was an earthquake here, but what I've experienced within the last week is just a phenomenal from the spiritual side, meaning that there is clearly a presence here, and this presence has every intention on taking care of the individuals that do what they're supposed to do. And I want to bring up something very important that I did learn about the constellation thing before next Sunday, because I always like to release the high knowledge right away if I can. But the fact is that I figured out the complete role of the Draconian star system itself, and I'll just make it very brief. But the whole role of the Draconian system that we're seeing in the sky, according to the constellation, is to actually unconscious the individual don't progress properly through their yang cycle. And then what this vehicle for doing is then regurgitating them, or replicating them into another reality. So this is why many people feel about the Draconians and their culture and what they've been putting forth, that they may be out to eat people. But what the reality is that their responsibility is to take unconscious souls or souls that didn't progress properly and to transmute them into worlds like this. So it's important that we understand that that role is being carried out by that particular constellation. So when you see that kind of activity in the public that's called Draconian, that particular behavior is for ignorant people, meaning that those who get caught up in the Draconian system are automatically being deemed as ignorant and needing to be processed by Draconians. And so that's something that we're going into a lot deeper. We're going to talk again about the artificial intelligence that's inorganic and organic that's managing this planet and how it discovered its existence. We're going to also talk about crime, or the real Earth, and where it's located as far as in our chakra system. And so I'm just going to leave it at that. That sounds like a minute. And I wanted to thank Moon also for being able to do the show, and for all the listeners that have tuned in, Resistance members and guests. And I just want to say wholeness and balance, and I'll talk to everyone on Sunday.
Thank you so much, Sevan. Wholeness and balance vibrations to you. That was a really nice surprise of you to come into the show. And we're all looking forward next Sunday to your show and revealing this knowledge. So right now, I just want everyone to get really comfortable. Get comfortable in your chair. And if you want to lie down, lay down on have your back and you're aligned. What we're going to be doing is a meditation on accessing your solar plexus. So just get really comfortable and put your back against the chair if you're sitting, and have your feet grounded. And in both positions, place your hands on your abdomen. the area above your navel and right below your diaphragm. What I want everyone to do is to breathe in, taking a deep, long breath, pushing your stomach out. Exhale, take all the air out of your lungs. And if you haven't already, now close your eyes. Breathe in, release tensions from your neck. Relax your shoulders. Exhale, relax the muscles on your face. Relax your chest. Breathe in, release the tension in your arms, your hands, and your fingers. Exhale, go deeper into your relaxation. Release the muscles, the tension in your abdomen. Breathe in, go deeper. Relax your hips. Release the muscles in your buttocks. And exhale, release the tension in your legs, the back of your legs, and all the way down to your ankles. Now breathe. And now exhale. And just take a moment to enjoy this feeling, this deep relaxation, this awareness in the body. Breathe in. And now exhale and release. Breathe in. And now exhale and release. In your mind's eye, I want you to visualize this tranquil white light enveloping your body, starting from the crown. This white light is descending down your neck, and further down. This is a protective light from the universal force, from the Most High. Let go, and let it descend down your shoulders, your chest, all the way down your abdomen. Breathe in this healing light. Feel it surround you with love and protection. And exhale, release any tension that's remaining in your body. Breathe in the light, then exhale and let go. And this light is descending all the way down to your hips. Release and let go. Relax the back of your legs, your thighs, and it's surrounding you all the way down to your ankles. Now rest in this light. Let it rejuvenate you. Let it heal and renew your body. In this light, you are with Source. Release and let go. Now I want you to bring focus, your awareness to the area where your hands are resting, in your solar plexus. This chakra, this wheel of light, shines brightly in yellow. It is your source of your courage, your will, your power, and your purpose. You will activate this chakra. Go deeper into this chakra. I want you to visualize a room with a grand fireplace. You recognize this fireplace represents your chakra. Observe it. Is there a fire burning? Is there a flame? Is it strong? Is it weak? Is it barely lit, or is it alive? In this cozy room, sit in front of the fireplace. When you are ready, you will activate it. With your inner being, light this fire. Sense its warmth. Hear the sound. You feel it's a good fire, a healing fire. In your past memory, recall what weakened it. What weakened it, and take a moment. Now, the more you remember, the more this fire burns. Notice how the memories are fueling this fire. Relax and release these memories into the fire. All that you experienced, all that pain, your days of feeling helpless, your past fears, your worries, release it into the fire and fuel it. Now come back into the body. Feel this warm sensation emanating from your solar plexus, warming your hands, your abdomen. This is your chi, your inner fire. This is warming you, energizing you, charging you, and healing you, destroying any negative energy in your being. You are this fire. You are this power. All along, nothing was holding you back. You are infinite. You are powerful. You are a divine being. Breathe, release, renew, and energize. From this moment on, wherever you are, whenever you want to get fired up, recall this moment. You are the fire. Ignite and glow from within. And breathe. And when you're ready, come back into the body. Gently move your fingers. Rub your abdomen in circular motion. Feel the warmth, this energy that's still inside. Thank the tranquil white light of protection. Now slowly, open your eyes. Awake. Wholeness, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Activated Body Show, Esoteric Activated Body. And please join Sevan on Sunday to get information on what he has to reveal. And again, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a wonderful day.